Ramayana, Part 14, The Humiliation of Parashurama. As Dasharatha and his party continued their journey, unfavorable omens appeared. Dasharatha was perturbed. He was apprehensive, not knowing what misfortune would befall them. He said to Vashishta, Guruji, these bad omens upset me. Vashishta said, Fear not. It is certain that we shall encounter some grave danger, but it will have a fortunate conclusion. Therefore, do not be troubled. Just then, a terrible storm burst on them. The earth seemed to tremble. Even gigantic trees were felled. All of a sudden, dark clouds hid the sun. They were all blinded. A person emerged from the enveloping darkness. He was walking fast and was awesome to behold. His hair was matted. He carried an axe in his right hand. A bow rested on his left shoulder, and he seemed to be hastening towards Dasharatha's party in flaming wrath. The man who thus charged the atmosphere with fear was named Rama. He belonged to the Brigu family. He was the son of a great sage, Jamadagni. Jamadagni was the son of Vishwamitra's sister, Satyavati. This son of Jamadagni, who appeared before Dasharatha's party, always carried a parashu, an axe, in his hand, and therefore came to be known as Parashurama. Parashurama was a man of rare valor and a fierce tapasvi. His feet were endowed with such rare power that he could traverse any distance in the twinkling of an eye. He never transgressed the instruction of an elder. Once, Jamadagni was furious with his wife, who had done something unworthy. He called Parashurama and said, Cut off the head of your mother. Without reflecting for a moment, Parashurama obeyed his father. Jamadagni said, I am pleased with your obedience. Seek what boon you will. Parashurama answered, Father, may my mother, whom I killed, come back to life, and may no trace of this bitter event linger in her memory. Jamadagni said, So be it. Renuka came back to life. The earth was overcrowded with Kshatriyas in those days. They formed small groups and were always fighting with one another. They were arrogant and ill treated the people. Their harassment made the people wretched. Once, when Jamadagni was engaged in tapas, a king called Kartavirya came there hunting. He killed Jamadagni. When Parashurama learnt the news, he was in volcanic rage. He took a vow. The arrogance of the Kshatriyas knows no limits. I am not Parashurama if I do not subdue them. With his chosen weapon, the axe, he set forth to exterminate the Kshatriyas. 21 times he went round the earth and made mincemeat of the Kshatriyas he encountered. Many kings fled in fear, so the entire earth was his. Parashurama then performed a sacrifice, and the entire earth he gifted away to sage Kashyapa, who had presided over the sacrifice. He then retired to Mount Mahendra and engaged in tapas. When Dasharatha, himself a Kshatriya, saw this quick-tempered Parashurama, he was in a panic. Is Parashurama still enraged with the Kshatriyas? What will now be the fate of my sons? He asked himself, severely shaken. But he managed to greet the sage Parashurama with a smile, make obeisance, and make respectful enquiries. Parashurama did not even throw a glance at Dasharatha. He said to Rama, Rama, I have heard of your prowess. It seems you broke the Shivadanush in Janaka's court. That is truly a great feat. Rama, look at this Vishnu Dhanush I have. Both this bow and the Shivadanush which you broke were made by Vishwakarma. He gave one of these to Shiva, and so it came to be known as Shivadanush, and the other which he gave to Vishnu came to be known as Vishnu Dhanush. Vishnu gave his bow to my grandfather Richika. Since then, it has been in the keeping of my family. If you are really a man of great prowess, fix an arrow to this Vishnu Dhanush. I shall then concede that you are powerful. Rama heard what Parashurama said. The arrogance, the provocative tone, the challenge all enraged him. But yet he thought it would be disrespectful to exhibit his anger before his father. So he spoke in a gentle tone and expressed his feelings in these words. Parashurama, I too have heard of your prowess. Maybe you have overcome some kings, but that does not justify your assuming that all the Kshatriyas are weak and provoking them in this fashion. Parashurama, do not imagine that I am a weakling. Do you wish to witness my prowess? Look then. At once he seized the Vishnu Dhanush from Parashurama's hand, and as if it was just a game, he fixed an arrow. He then aimed the arrow at Parashurama. He said, Watch, Parashurama, I have fixed an arrow. You are the grandson of the sister of my Guru Vishwamitra. I cannot kill anyone who is related to my Guru, but the arrow I shoot cannot be in vain. Tell me, shall I destroy all the punya, which is spiritual merit, you have earned, or shall I take away your power of traveling like lightning? Parashurama was now subdued, his arrogance withered. He turned to Rama and said, Rama, I am now cured of my arrogance. That you are the great master of bow is beyond question. Dasharathi, may good fortune follow in your footsteps. I cannot surrender my power of traveling to your arrow. The reason is that when long ago I gifted this land to sage Kashyapa, I had vowed that I would not spend a night in the territory I had given away. So, in a moment, I have to be back in the Mahendra region where I perform tapas. So, take away the power of my tapas with your arrow, if you will. Accordingly, Rama shot the arrow. Parashurama lost the power of his tapas. At once, Parashurama, with the special endowment of his feet, hastened towards Mount Mahendra. It was as if pitch darkness had lifted and light had returned. They who had shrunk in fear at the approach of Parashurama now shouted in joy. Dasharatha drew Rama to him and embraced him. Everyone was happy. They continued their journey with a relieved mind. There was joyful excitement everywhere in Ayodhya. The entire population of the city rejoiced to hear that Dasharatha was returning to Ayodhya with his sons and daughters-in-law. They prepared to welcome the newly wed couples in a grand manner. They decorated the city with banners and festoons. Arches of welcome appeared everywhere. Flags also began to flutter from tall poles. Songs glorifying Rama's valor were composed. Musical instruments of auspiciousness welcomed the party at the main gate of the city. The party was taken to the palace in a huge procession. It was formally welcomed at a grand ceremony. Everyone acclaimed the Rama Sita couple as well as the other couples. The people of the city sang and danced and blessed the newlywed couples, and the couples now began a new life. Rama and Sita were a most happily suited pair. They were like a single soul in two bodies. They loved each other deeply. They never forgot any duty enjoined on them by Dharma. They ardently assisted elders in the duties of Dharma. They were all reverent towards their gurus and elders. They were affectionate towards those younger than they. They acted as they thought. Their conduct reflected their innermost thoughts. They treated one and all as their kith and kin, so magnanimous were they. Their ideal life delighted every heart.